Hey, this is Al Stasek with my friend, amazing human being, um, just a superstar real estate professional, and my dear friend Brian Moses. What's happening, Brian? Just a superstar real estate professional. Wow. And, my dear friend Brian Moses. What's happening, Brian?
I'm getting some feedback here.
Me too.
A superstar.
You have something open?
Wow. My dear friend. There we go.
Was that you?
That was me. Me messing it up. Sorry, gang. I clicked on the other link.
Oh, so you not only wanted to start Hangout, but you also wanted to watch yourself.
No, it was in a closed window behind. I forgot that I had opened it. But here's the great news. You don't have to be technologically advanced to make a lot of money selling real estate. So that's the blessing behind this.
Ain't that the truth? So, hey, man, thank you so much for joining me this morning. By the way, cheers to you. A little coffee.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So, what I want to, what I'm hoping to do by having a conversation with you this morning is anybody that's watching this, I want to, it's going to go without saying that anytime you get in front of people in the real estate industry or even out are looking at this value on them. You do it when we're at our conference. You do it when we're at our mastermind, when you visit us there. You travel to a lot of my friends that own teams or brokerages all around the country. They fly you out. We're going to actually talk about that. For anybody that's watching us in Cleveland, you're in for a huge treat. But let's talk about you. For people who don't know Brian Moses, who the heck are you, man?
I think the one word that describes me is authentic. I sent out a bunch of training materials today to people. I did a recording with Steve Zahn, and Steve's got a team of 4 young men. And I did an early morning recording. I was wearing a sweatshirt the other day, and we were into it, and I was trying to make a point, and I was using some language that really probably isn't conversational and we're not going to use today. So I sent out the training, and I didn't apologize, because you never want to apologize for who you are. But I wanted to add some value to some people that are close to me, and I wanted to offer this training that Steve agreed to share. And, there's a couple of F-bombs in there, but I'm an authentic guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I work hard. I'm far from perfect. I'd consider myself humble. I've struggled. I've struggled. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to kind of figure out it as I go. And those first several years, Al, were really painful for me. And, I kind of made a commitment to myself. I was determined to figure it out and succeed at the highest level. My goal was to be the #1 agent in the world for Coldwell Banker. Never quite made it, but did well. And then and to pay it forward and share.
Not too bad. #2 is not too shabby.
Twice #2, yeah. Missed it by 4 deals one year. But I've just been devoting my life, the last several years of my life, 10, 15 years, coaching, training, helping people make distinctions. I believe in coaching. I had coaches, I've had mentors, I've had people in my life that have made a tremendous difference. I was thinking about this coffee chat this morning, and I remember, who do I have to thank for the success that I've had? Certainly you have to do your part, but there are people that open the door and show you things. And this woman came to mind. I haven't thought about her in years. Her name's Carol Dobbins. She's here in Nashua, my hometown, and I was a brand new agent. And Carol was a veteran. She was in the business about 20 years, and she was one of the top agents in the office. And I was struggling and I was frustrated. I was showing buyers homes every day, weekends, nights, holidays. It wasn't for lack of effort that I wasn't succeeding. And, I was nearly in tears, behind in my rent, down and out. And Carol came up to me and she said, "What's the matter, Bri?" I go, "Jesus, Carol, I'm working really hard with all these buyers. They're looking at houses. They're sucking the blood out of me. I don't know what else to do. She goes, well, are you asking them to buy? And I said, what do you mean? And she offered me some coaching. She said, you don't want to say, hey, do you want to buy this house? But she said, you want to be helpful. You want to make a suggestion. You want to say, hey, Al, it looks like you guys really like this house compared to the other ones that we've looked at. Would you like to know what's involved if you were to make the next step? Would you like to know what the monthly payment is, what the terms are, what's involved in the process? She goes, why don't you try asking people that? So I went out that afternoon on my showing appointments, showed some houses, and the buyers liked the house. And I said, hey, would you like to know what's involved if you were to make a decision to move forward? Would you like to know what the monthly payments are? And sure enough, these people bought the house. I couldn't believe it. And so what I learned in that moment was that what we say, our tools of the trade, are the words that come out of our mouth. And I've been a student ever since of mastering the skills and the strategies to influence people to make good decisions. And, I'm happy to be with you today and answer questions and share some of those strategies with you.
Oh, man. No, I appreciate it. I can relate because I've gone through the same struggles, and we're not really, I don't think anybody really wants to hear all my war stories, but I definitely want to hear some of the lessons learned from you, and I'm happy to share it. I think one of the things that we have in common is that we started from nothing, literally. Nothing has been given. Everything was earned. I think we have that. We share that common bond. I also believe that we had to fail a lot as we took our journey to where we I don't want to say that we've arrived, because we never arrive, right? But to where we're at, and it's constant learning, it's constant growth, looking for a better way. And I know that you lived that, and I was wondering, can you just share with us one of the things that I put on the Facebook post that was leading up to this hangout, the value that some people would get is there's a lot of agents out there that the whole idea of a team is, I remember when I joined in 2007, I did, and I really hadn't, I don't even know how I found the money to do this, because I didn't have any freaking money, I can tell you that. Figured a way out to get to Las Vegas and go to a seminar. It was like a 2 or 3 day training on team building. Because I knew that I didn't know how I was going to do it, and at the time I really didn't even know why. I just had I had a desire to grow, and I did want to do it the right way, because I didn't know. I didn't have no one trained me on business or how to build a team. I had to really go out and get the coaching and whatever. So I did that. I want people to come away with some good value as it relates to, if someone out there listening to this, watching this, they have a real estate business, maybe they're a single practitioner, they're actually looking to build a team. Tell us what you went through, how you came to it. And I mean, I think you told me one of your best months, it was something like you had a $400,000 commission month. I mean, how fun is that? Can you just where you started and how you got to that point?
Yeah, it really starts with your psychology. Obviously, we won't get too deep into that, but be witness to your thoughts. Your beliefs. We all have beliefs. We have two types of beliefs. We have beliefs that limit us and beliefs that empower us. And beliefs turn into thoughts. Thoughts turn into conversations that we have inside our head. Those conversations turn into actions, and those actions turn into, or actions or inactions will turn into the results that we achieve in life. So, I've had a lot of limiting beliefs in my past, and certainly to succeed, you got to overcome that. So you need to be witness to your thoughts, number one. I always say that your mind, Al, is like a parachute. If it's not open, it won't work, and you're dead. So keep an open mind. We are so quick to judge. We all have opinions. We're in an industry where hey, we got to be the shits, right? We got to go out and we got to demonstrate to the seller that we're the best man or woman for the job. So we get in that physiology, we get in that state, and ego actually limits us. Oh. I learned a long time ago that it's what you learn after you think you know everything that makes the greatest difference. And you asked me earlier, what describes you? I'm still a constant learner. I'm always changing. I'm always trying to make things better. Let's look at it this way. If we don't subscribe to that, the end is inevitable. The world outside us is changing so rapidly. Sometimes if you're on social media, you'll see someone post a picture of a cassette tape and they'll go, hey, are you old enough to remember what this is? Yeah, I'm old enough to remember what a cassette tape looks like, right? Or a floppy disk. When I was in college, we had floppy disks. Yeah. Today we have little thumb drives, or, the computers hold tons of information. I have 30 years worth of real estate training on my hard drive on my computer. It's amazing how the world is changing. Now we don't even listen to CDs. We have iTunes or Spotify. So the world outside us is changing at such a rapid rate, and what everybody needs to be aware is there are billion-dollar corporations out there right now trying to get control of your clients. So, I can talk about the things that I did to get to where I'm at today, and some of those are still relevant, but some of them aren't. We have to become masters of lead generation. There are still people out there door knocking, and it'll work. Anything will work. You could put a sign, a cardboard sign, stand on the corner and say, I'm a real estate agent. And if you're there long enough, you might get lucky. I say that a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Yeah. But we want to be more intentional. So what I would encourage anybody who's listening today or who's going to watch this recording to do is to be intentional, to be purposeful, to work on your mindset, to know that you can have, do, experience, and achieve more. That's the most important piece, your belief systems, right? Maybe you're looking at your present results and you're thinking about quitting or getting out of the business. Here's what I'd tell you. If it's been done before, it can be done again. If you're doing it, Al, and I'm doing it, and there are other people all over the country that I coach and train, and even people that I don't coach and train that are succeeding at a high level, it can be done. Remember this guy, Roger Bannister? You ever hear of him?
No.
Roger Bannister is the guy that broke the 4-minute mile. He was the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Nobody thought it could be done. They thought it was impossible, right? Look at the Wright brothers. Everybody knows who the Wright brothers are. Everyone thought that they were nuts putting people in a device to get up airborne. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? So it can be done. And our good friends Mike and Jay, they often talk about, people that are crazy enough to think that they can make a difference and change the world. Those are the ones that usually do. Yeah. So the first lesson is, believe in yourself. You can do it. If it's not happening, if you're not getting the results, you got to change your strategy. And, we're not here promoting coaching. There's no sales pitch here. We want to add value to you, but get a coach. It doesn't have to be me. They can make a difference. There's a lot of people out there in this world that make a difference in the lives of agents and can share with you those distinctions. Al, you know this. I've got 2 kids. They're both in martial arts. My oldest is a 2-time martial arts world champ. He wasn't born a black belt. In fact, when he started, it was pretty painful to watch. I'm like, I don't know if Hayden's going to make it, honey. What do you think? She goes, well, he's really having fun. He likes it. He got better and he got better. And when you like things, you work at it, right? But what about real estate agents? Are we working at developing our skills? Or do we just get on the phone, we got a sign call, hey, how can I help you today? Well, I was wondering, I was calling on the house on 123 Oak Street, and I was wondering if it's still available. No, it's sold. What are you looking for? Okay, well, call you back.
I got to laugh right now because I do recall when you start to talk about sign calls, I can't help but remember I'm not sure what's saying. We've traveled so many different fun places together. I know that there was some alcoholic beverage included in this outing. It was a late night, and you grab somebody's phone. It's actually coming to me right now.
Oh God. Oh no.
Was it Phoenix? I can't remember, but you grabbed somebody's phone and you called their competition and listen, just watched them take a sign call or listen to them. You did it on speakerphone.
In the business world, we call it mystery shopping.
You were mystery shopping. And so you mystery shopped, and it was just amazing to hear how terribly that this person took an actual sales call. And the first thing that I think of when I hear somebody taking a bad sales call like that is that it's a disservice to the seller who actually hired this person to be a professional salesperson and to handle inquiries on their home in the best possible way, in the most professional way, using professional, and I don't want to say scripts. Of course, we all there's scripts for everything, and that the scripts are guiding, they're just guidelines to making sure that we're qualifying the prospect the right way, asking the right questions, asking the hard questions, and ultimately getting a face-to-face appointment, because we know we can't sell homes over the phone.
Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
I know we're both sports fans, right? So I watched the Carolina Panthers game last night against the Saints for a little bit, for an hour or so. I like football. My kid's into football. I want to learn more about it. But they run plays, and they practice those plays all week so that they can execute them in a game. That's a script. How many of us like movies, like to watch a movie? Jack Nicholson doesn't just get in front of the camera and go, okay, roll them, and he starts talking about whatever he thinks. Not only is he scripted, he's got his physiology and his facial expressions and his language all practiced so that he can make the big bucks, so that he can influence other human beings, so that he can bring a tear to your eye, make you laugh, cause you some to be introspective. So scripts, the problem with scripts is, the customer never follows their lines. But they're a great template to understand, in a perfect world, this is how I would like the call to go. How I would like the call to go is I'd like to get an appointment. And you and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that was a fun night. We definitely had a couple involved. And then I remember actually calling people's leads. I think it was, well after midnight. And people are like, no way, you're going to call someone after midnight? I wouldn't advise that, folks. But I was trying to demonstrate that, how many times have we called someone and they don't answer the phone? So if they don't answer the phone, we got to reach them. That's step one. It's really quite simple. So this guy answers the phone after midnight, and it was kind of funny. And he goes, do you know what time it is? I said, yes, sir. It's about 12:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And I've been trying you all through the week, and I've not been able to reach you. So I figured this is as good a time as any. And then I continued with my process. But you want to have fun at it. You want to know what you're going to say before you say it.
Right. We're on Facebook Live here, and there's about 27 people or whatever. One of the ladies in our market here, she's an amazing professional. She's been an agent, Patty Law. She says, is this Brian Moses that was on the Jay Leno show 14 years ago? I heard him speak at Craig Proctor. Well, yes, this is that Brian Moses, but you were on David Letterman, not Leno, right?
Letterman, yeah.
Letterman, which is a great story, and whatever. I didn't mean to.
Well, hello, nice to see you again.
Yes, that's Patty. She's great. Hey, thanks for everybody on Facebook Live here, by the way, chiming in. I wish I could type some answers back to you all, but
and then, Al, this is probably as good as time as any. You're all about giving value, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but one of the reasons we're getting together to talk to agents in Cleveland and add value to the agents is because you're having me come out and do something for your office, as well as you're opening it up to the agents that are in your market. Yes.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I brought this up earlier in this broadcast that you've been traveling around to anyone who's fortunate enough to get some of your time to come out to their hometown and talk to their entire brokerage, talk to their team. I know you've gone out to see Caleb Pearson. He's the #1 Remax team, I think, in the entire state of North Carolina. You've gone up to see our Canadian friends up there.
Was on team, yep.
Yep.
I'm going to I'm heading out to Seattle in a couple of weeks to go see Jeremy Mellick. I don't do a lot of these, and but they are fun. They are great because I really get to stick a microscope up the backside of your business and look at what you're doing. And we work on our business, right? Kind of like the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers work all week, work on their game, work on their craft.
Right. And so, I think I saw you when we were in Dallas in October, and I said, look, Bri, I want you to come to Cleveland. I want you to spend a day with my team. It's going to be a great exercise, and just kind of planning for 2017. My team busted their ass this year, had the best year. We had several people. When I say several, I bet 80% of our sales team had their best income year ever.
That's
so
awesome.
The best way to just keep that momentum rolling is to bring someone like yourself in. Someone who's just going to come in. And I mean, when you come and speak to our masterminds, and our mastermind group is arguably one of the most talented, special group of people I've ever had the privilege of being part of. And when we're talking about people that have, $1 million, $2 million, $3, $4 million real estate businesses. These guys are players in the industry, and they're all humble. And you come and drop value, and people walk out of there levitating, literally. So I wanted that same experience for my team. And then I just said, Brian, what the hell am I doing keeping this to just ourselves? Why not just open it up to all of Cleveland, totally free? And that's exactly what we're doing. So this little broadcast here is really just to invite anyone in Cleveland. And if you don't live in Cleveland and you're close and you want to come in, come on in. There's literally, I just want to be able to, one of my goals is to have the biggest impact I can on, not just the real estate community, but on my community that I serve in Cleveland, Ohio here. And, we've been doing some really cool events. We had an amazing Rock and Restock this year, and that helped a lot of people. But I wanna drill down and help the professionals that have surrounded me as I grew my business. And let's face it, I didn't do it by myself. You didn't do it by yourself. And all these agents that I've co-broked with, all the people that I've talked with, people I've served on the board with, all these professionals, they're so amazing in the city, and I just wanted to give back to them. So I might as well just drop the date. It's December 8th. It's a Thursday, and we're gonna do additions. We're gonna do a morning, and everybody's invited. It's gonna be about 4 hours of Brian Moses. Brian, you can kind of talk about some of the things that you're gonna do, and then we're gonna break for lunch. Lunch is actually gonna be provided by Ohio Real Title and
Nice.
And Cross Country Mortgage. So Eric Lawson and Tony from Cross Country Mortgage, Jen Fagan, Ryan Mari of Ohio Real Title have been so generous as to even pay for lunch for everybody. So if you want to stick around, you want to have lunch, it's going to be provided. And then we're going to go for another 2-3 hours or however long until Brian drops of exhaustion. But I can guarantee you this. You're going to walk out of there with a different mindset. We actually started this broadcast talking about mindset and belief. I don't mean to ramble here, but I mean, when I coach agents, a lot of times they're asking me what was the turning point. And, I could talk about when I hired my first inside salesperson, or I can talk about when we cracked our first $1 million and commissions or all this other stuff. It's none of that. The turning point for me was in Dallas, Texas, and it was in 2010 when I went to my first EGS, and I sat in a crowd. I knew nobody. I flew down there knowing not a soul.
Wow.
Ended up meeting friends that these are friends I'm going to be, I'll be with till the day they put me in the ground. Okay. But I watched 4 individuals who were superstars on stage, and this is what happened. I believed, and it cracked. I had limiting beliefs in my own mind that, I could only sell 30, 40 homes or whatever it was. Then I just had, this was the belief I had. And I walked out of that room with a different belief and a different mindset. And I allowed myself to be wrong about however I thought I knew how to grow my real estate business. I just allowed myself to think differently, be wrong, and truly became a student at that point. And I believe anyone that comes to see you on Thursday, December 8th, is gonna walk out feeling the same.
Well, I promise you, I won't let you down. And we're gonna start talking about belief. I'm getting some feedback here. Was that me? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm getting a little echo, but
that's how live broadcast is. It's not gonna be.
This is my first, so thanks for being my first, Al.
Oh,
this is my first.
I didn't know you were a virgin.
For Facebook Live, it is. It's my first. The feedback went away, so that's great. But we're going to talk about what is success, and we're going to talk about those limiting beliefs. One thing that,
Amy,
one of the most influential people in my life is Tony Robbins, and I don't know if I imagine everybody's heard of him. He just had a great release of his documentary, "I'm Not Your Guru." If you haven't seen it, rent it on Netflix. It's life altering. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll inspire you. It'll move you. But I've been in Tony's environment for a lot of years. I've been personally coached by Tony, so I understand human behavior better than I ever have in the past. I've worked with him for a couple of years, working as a business consultant, traveling all over the world, helping large companies increase their sales revenues and profits. And what I can tell you absolutely, with absolute 100% certainty, is if I can help a company that does billions of dollars in revenue increase their revenue, that's like moving the Titanic. You take a company with all those moving parts, thousands and thousands and thousands of people on their sales force, and you make little iterations that make a significant impact. Small percentage gains on a $4 billion company is hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's harder to move a company like that than it is an agent who's doing $100,000 a year in GCI or less. So to help you double, triple, quadruple, exponentially grow your income, and it's not your gross income, it's your net income, because that's what really matters. It's what you keep that makes the difference. And I've learned the hard way. I've invested and spent tons and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in my business to get to a higher level of production, only to realize that at the end of the day, yeah, we sold more homes, we made more money, but we didn't have any more money on the bottom line.
All right, I got to stop you here, and because this is a huge distinction that I think that needs to be made. And I believe that there's a real misconception about these super agents who start out, next you see them shooting up, and they go from selling 50 houses to 250 or 300 or whatever. And I experienced this myself.
Yes.
I want you to talk to us about, I'll just say this, and then I'll let you kind of just share with us your experience. I can tell you that when I grew my income from $100,000 to $500,000, that I was netting more money than when I grew it from 500 to $1 million. And people will scratch their head and say, how the hell can that happen? Well, I'm telling you, I'm not the only one. And And that's, I think, just another, you know, I'd like to hear what your
Yeah, so I had a call with a guy yesterday, and it's really fresh in my mind. And you know, when I talk to people one-on-one, I go, so, you know, tell me what your goals are. Tell me what you are presently doing, and I ask a lot of other questions, but let's talk about those two things. So one of the biggest mistakes, you know, when I talk to dozens of people in the course of a month, I hear, you know, I want to grow a team. I want to hit 100 units or 200 units or 500 units, or I want to get to this level in GCI. I want to increase my lead flow. I want to add postcards or direct mail. I want to hire an assistant. I hear those things all the time. But the one thing I don't hear is profitability. And I wish I did. I wish I heard agents say, you know what? I would like to net and keep this much money next year. Because all the other things are means towards that end. But if nobody has a comprehension of what they're trying to net and keep, because your business is here to serve you. If you don't give any thought to that, any bus will get you there if you don't know where you're going. Yep. So focus on adding value and being compensated for your value, and set a net income goal for you. And then you can make decisions. Is this going to bring me closer to that goal, or is this going to push me further from that goal? As opposed to, we just go for the shiny objects. We hear that all the time, right? But right. Building a team is a shiny object. Increasing your lead generation is a shiny object. I'm not saying they're not essential to getting to your goals, but it depends. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. If your goal is to net and keep a couple $100,000 a year, you probably don't need to have a monstrous team. So that's the first distinction. The second thing that came out of this conversation yesterday was this guy was doing 80 deals a year. That's a beast in North America, right? I mean, the average agent in this country sells 5 houses a year or less. So someone who's selling 80 houses by himself with a personal assistant, this guy's got his shit together. Let's face it. He's had some successes. And I go, what are your next moves? What are you going to do? He goes, well, I'm going to get on TV, and I'm going to get on radio, and I'm going to do a billboard. So I go, okay, that's certainly a strategy, but I wouldn't do that. And I just paused. And he said, well, why wouldn't you do that? I said, you're doing 80 deals a year, and you're comparing the strategies that agents are doing 400, 500, 600 houses a year, and you're copying those. And here's a great analogy that everybody listening and watching out there will relate to. We've all been to the gym at some point in our life, right? I'd like to go more. I should go more. I need to go more. I need to make that a priority. You know, it's the one area in my life that continues to be a struggle for me. However, when I go to the gym, if I decide that I'm going to go to the gym, and I haven't been in a few months, Al, to be perfectly honest with you, but I decide to go and I see this guy who looks like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I see this guy that looks like he's on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. And I go, I want to look like that guy. So I see him on the bench, and he's benching 300 pounds. So because I want to look like that guy, does it make sense for me to put 300 pounds on the bar and start trying to bench 300 pounds? What do you think?
Bad idea.
Bad idea. That barbell is going to go right through my chest. So what I told this guy is I go, look, TV and radio and billboards, they all have a place, but let's get you from 80 deals and let's before we increase the number of deals, how about this? This may be completely crazy, but let's increase your profitability on the 80 deals. What if, on 80 deals, he told me he kept about $150,000 is what he made and kept. I said, what if I could get you to keep $250 on those 80 deals? Oh my God, Brian, that would be amazing. Well, let's eliminate some of the waste. Let's improve our efficiencies. Let's be better on the phones. How many people did everybody out there in Facebook Live or watching this Hangout, how many people did you speak to this week that didn't result in an appointment. And what we want to do is we want to go generate more leads so that we're duplicating that inefficiency. It makes no sense. So what I will do when I come to Cleveland is I'm going to talk about the basic levers that have the most critical impact, result in the greatest optimization and the greatest efficiency for you and for anybody that's sitting in the audience. Let's do that first, and then let's scale it.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, by the way, Brian, I will email everybody on the thread. If you guys want to information, I'll put all the information on this Facebook thread. But Brian, just out of curiosity, what kind of idiot would put a billboard up, by the way? Seriously. Really? I mean, come on.
That's hysterical. Well, that's somebody who wants to increase their brand and is already operating at a high level of profitability. And I'll tell people, there are things that I did, I'll be candid with you, things that I did just because I could. Well, when you're producing $3 million a year in commission income, you've got a little bit of margin for error, right?
You do.
You can take some chances.
You mentioned, you said, I don't think that when that gentleman that you're advising, you said, I don't think that's a good strategy. And that was the point. Like a lot of people, like, was your phone ringing off the hook with people that wanted to move to Canada or whatever? There were people calling. Yes. Was it ringing off the hook? No, but that wasn't the strategy. The purpose behind the strategy was marketing. The purpose was actually to get on the news. Mm-hmm. We got on the news.
Mission accomplished.
National news. We got on all the local channels, picked it up. National news. It was a branding move. Yeah. And so there was purpose behind it, but the purpose wasn't.
Now, would you tell somebody doing 20, 30 deals a year to go and invest that kind of money? No, it'd be you could go bankrupt, and it would suck cash. I've made stupid moves like that, Brian. I don't know about you, but I've done some really stupid shit, and I paid. Are there any questions out there? We're coming to Cleveland December 8th. Al's inviting you to join us. He'll give you all the details. He's going to send an email out, I imagine, giving you the date, the time, the location. But mark your calendar, December 8th, and we'll start in the morning. We're going to talk about psychology. We're going to talk about best practices. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about lead conversion. One thing on that, we'll ask some questions in a minute here if you'd like, Al. I got a few more minutes before my 10 o'clock call. But, how many of us aren't controlling the real estate process? I think everybody can relate to that. And if you are now, congratulations. But you probably remember a time when you weren't, right? Where a buyer calls you up and says, hey, I've got 4 properties I'd like to see. I'm available Saturday. Can you show me homes on Saturday? Isn't that the Alabama-Auburn game is what I'm thinking? Are you kidding me? You want to go look on Saturday? I want to watch that game. Right. Well, thankfully, we have TiVo. So I TiVo the game, and I run out and I show them homes. And I'm not controlling the process. I'll give you one little one that'll benefit everybody out there. And if you have a team, it'll benefit your buyer's agents. Because when do buyers want to look at property? On the weekends, right? Yeah, when they want to look. When they want to look. So I would like to work fewer weekends. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to working on weekends. And depending on where you are in your stage of your business, it may be a requirement for you initially. But I'm going to say to the buyer, and this is where knowing what to say and having a strategy for everything that ever happens in real estate is important. But I say to the buyer, hey, Al, I'm happy to show you property this weekend. I'm excited that you found 4 that you want to see. There may even be more, and I'll do a quick search to make sure we don't miss out on anything else that pops up between now and Saturday. But let me ask you, when we met, you told me that getting a good deal was important to you. Is that still important to you, Al? Yeah, it is. Well, and the reason I ask is because, most buyers, they're out looking on the weekends. And price is a function of supply and demand. So if we can get you in the property before other buyers see them, before there's any competition, can you see the strategic advantage in doing that? Absolutely. So could I make a suggestion? I know it might be an inconvenience, but an inconvenience to miss a couple of hours of work during the week, cut out early, go in late, where we find a property negotiate it before anybody else sees it on the weekend might save you tens of thousands of dollars. So is there any time during the week that you could make yourself available?
To save tens of thousands of dollars? Absolutely.
Right? So give up a few $100 of income, take some personal time, and we go out during the week. And now I'm sitting at home watching the Auburn game.
See, this is why I love you. I mean, this is just one thing. None of this was planned, by the way. This is unscripted. I literally called this is 1000% true.
Yesterday.
I called Brian yesterday and said, hey, I don't even know how we're doing it because I've never done a live broadcast on Google Hangouts. So I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out between now and 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to do a hangout and we're going to announce that you're coming to Cleveland, and we're going to drop value on people who can make it, people who can't make it. They're going to put out of this broadcast, and that was the goal. And you're like, do it. So, I'm actually shocked that I was even able to get this damn
broadcast.
One
other thing, Al, I'm also going to show everybody how to differentiate yourself, right? Think about this. The public out there that's thinking about buying or selling a home, if they're thinking about Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Prudential, Century 21, if we were to ask them, hey, what's the difference between, and I'm not picking on anybody, right? Century 21 and Better Homes and Gardens. They go, I don't know. What's the difference between Keller Williams and Remax? I don't know. They think all we do is put properties in the MLS, open the door and show buyers the house and write contracts. I'm going to show you on December 8th how to differentiate yourself so that you have no more competition. So that they go, holy shit, I'm so glad I ran into you. Yeah.
I think you actually described it one time of saying if their own sister was in real estate, they'd be, after you drop what you're talking about right now. I know what because you've actually told that. That if their own sister was in real estate, they'd be scratching their head figuring out how are they going to break the news to her that they're not.
Yes, that should be your goal. That should be your goal, because let's face it, everybody knows a real estate agent. There's over almost 2 million licensed agents in North America. 2 million. So if you don't know a real estate agent, you've been living with your head in the sand. So it's not about, and here's the other big epiphany. Just because people know you're in real estate doesn't mean they're going to use you. You must articulate value, and we will crush that in that morning session. And I'll show you certain little things to say. They don't have to be scripted. You don't have to say, I don't want you to be Brian Moses. I don't want you to be Al Stasek. I want you to be yourself. I want you to be authentic. But I'm going to tell you how to differentiate value, because the truth is all real estate agents have a real estate license. But I'll tell you, that's where the similarity ends. And I want you to be able to wow your prospect and have them go, I am so glad I met you. Are you kidding me? Hey, honey, your sister's a real estate agent. Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, that's going to be a tough conversation. But we'll make that happen for you.
I love it, man. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you so much for your time. We're going to wrap this up December 8th. It's going to be right at the Hilton Garden, right over here by the airport on Grayton Road, right behind Grayton Road Tavern. Gosh, I hope it is. It's the Hilton Garden, right, Brian?
I believe it is. Yeah, I know you're going to send an email with all this.
I'm going to put all the information. I'll post it on this Hangout that's on YouTube. I'll post it on Facebook. We're going to blast it all around. I want agents from the west side, the east side, the south side, anywhere in the Cleveland area. And of course, if you're not in the Cleveland area and you want to travel in, it's worth it. Cleveland is an amazing city. Anybody that knows me knows I love Cleveland. Born and raised, and we have a really, really cool city. So come on in. I don't know if there's a Cavs game right around that time, but I imagine there would be. Check the schedule. Make a long weekend of it. Brian's coming in Wednesday night. He is Thursday, and he's leaving Thursday, so he's only here for Thursday. Thank you, Ohio Real Title, for being so generous They're amazing in sponsoring this. Thank you, Eric Lawson with Cross Country for sponsoring it and sponsoring the lunch. And you know, I'm just pumped. I'm pumped that it's, you know, that my team, my company is going to get massive value out of this. I'm pumped that there's going to be other Cleveland leaders that are joining us, and other agents that want to get some value and grow and have an amazing 2017. Man, thank you so much. I love you, brother.
Love you too, Al. Take care. I'll see you all in Cleveland December 8th. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.